It is Monday afternoon and I have been a busy boy over the weekend and today, so let me run through kind of what I've done so far. So bumper is all done, that I pulled off and painted it, and this time I actually sprayed the Brantho Corax for the first time and it came out really nice. Obviously it's covered in dust right now. I also painted all up under here with Brantho with a brush and cleaned that all up apart from the areas that are going to be removed. So that's looking good. And then around here as well, all up and through here, I've cleaned and painted black. So I've decided rather than removing this, it's like a bitumized paint that they've sprayed all over the underbody and the chassis of this truck. Rather than me removing that, which it's deeming to be very, very challenging anyway, it's here as well. It looks so much better. Yeah, rather than me doing that, what I'm doing is using the grinder with a flapper disc to smooth it all out and like reinvigorate it, because it's all dry and crusty. So when I hit it with the flapper wheel, it becomes sort of wet and moist again, and it lets me kind of smear it in a really nice smooth pattern. And it's kind of, as you can see, got that like mottled look, but I actually like it. It's cool. I'm used to Raptor coat as it is, and this is smoother than Raptor. So that's what I'm going to do for all this bitumized stuff, because it just doesn't come off anyway, and it is a rust proof, and wherever I smooth it back there's zero rust when I get to metal, so that's not an issue at all. I'm also bogging up areas where there are big dents that I can't get to from the other side. So this is my first iteration of this, and I'll hit that again because there's still a big lump here. And I've sanded it back kind of basically both days over the weekend. I've sanded a lot of the body back with an 80 grit on the orbital sander. I'll also hit it with 240 before I paint as well, but that's 80 on the majority of the body at the moment, smoothing it all out. I'm even trying to get back these rivet marks, or these weld marks rather. So I'm actually using the drill. I'm going to try and accentuate them so that when the body is painted, you'll still be able to actually see those marks, because I really like it. Now the doors I haven't quite decided on. Of course I want to remove the hinges, they will be painted black, but I'm not too sure whether I should paint it doors on or doors off. With doors off I'm a bit concerned that maybe the texture or the finish might be slightly different. So what I might try and do is tie the doors together from the inside, but that'll enable me to still remove the hinges so that the door is still kind of floating there. We've got glass that is being made at the moment for us, which will be here in a couple of weeks. So I will remove these and they won't be going back in at this rate. So that's some of what I've done. What I'm doing now is I'm just about to remove this vinyl once and for all, because I got in here today and put through a bunch of the Dynamat Extreme and also the Dynaliner as well. So that's looking really good. So the firewall of the whole truck is now done. So now it's time to remove this grotty vinyl. So I'm not keeping it, it's gonna go straight in the tip. Before I was trying to kind of conserve it, but it's pretty ripped and gross anyway, so I'm just gonna rip it out. I probably can't even really use it as a template for the Dynamat stuff, so that's gonna be gone. It'll give me an idea of what this area looks like. I kind of needed to remove the seats anyway because two of the bolts go right through, and I wanna be getting under here with the grinder either this afternoon or tomorrow morning and smoothing that all out, and then I'll paint that as well. The plan is still to remove the body, but Bjorn isn't here at the moment, so I can't use the forklift or anything like that. So at the moment I'm just going to try and do what I can do, so I can still easily get into these wheel wells without too much trouble. Having the body up and off the truck is not actually even going to make it much better anyway, so that's why I'm doing that. So it's going to look really cool, and I'm very happy with how the bumper came out. Right, let's remove this vinyl. All right. Been looking forward to this for a while. It's going to be satisfying. Gross. 50-year-old vinyl. All right. Nice. And that just leaves the last of the jute, which has a couple little tabs here which I'll remove, and I'll pull that out, and then I can start doing some more sound deadening as well as I go through these jobs. So that's great. That's looking really good, I'm happy with that. The Mad Max vehicle.
That's looking pretty good like that. Proper like Moab ready. Well, you've been a busybody this past week.
Oh my goodness me, I sure have. I am knackered. I've just been hammering as much as I can to get it ready for this morning, which is Saturday. So I've pretty much gone from what, Friday, and yeah, Friday to this Saturday, just absolutely hammering it. So I'm very happy with the work that I've done so far. So do you want to, maybe I'll take you on a tour. So first up, both windows are out, so I will cover this up soon, mask that all up. Front bar's off. Huge amount of work has been done in terms of body filler. So there were just so many dents. Once I started sanding it back, so I used a orbital sander with 80 grit for my first going over a bunch of times, and that really revealed all the dents. So I have filled them all up. The only thing I couldn't get off the truck that I would have liked to is the two little round windows here, but I've masked them instead. All the doors have been taken off so that I could get behind the hinges, sand them all. The hinges will be black. And then I've actually got ratchet straps inside here to tie the doors together.
I'll show that after.
And the reason I wanted the doors on the vehicle is so that I didn't get any kind of discrepancy in terms of texture or colour, because I will be mixing in a gloss pack into the paint. So I really wanted to be able to spray the whole thing in one go rather than doing the doors separately. So the doors are going back on. That was a bit of extra work. Use a sealant, a Sika sealant, to do all the seals. The only seal I haven't done is the cab seam, because the body will be being removed from the cab for the motor swap. So I'm just leaving that one, so it'll look a little bit grimy and gross. Rear bar's been done. I've added a bit of gloss to it to kind of see whether I want to do that with the body. Rear door has come off so that I could paint both hinges and clean everything up. Rear door is back on. Yeah, just a million bits of body filler. This was some of the worst, was where the wooden strips had come off and there was some corrosion underneath.
What is it, your little contraption that you're holding there?
Oh, I love this thing. This is another Build Timber special, so it's probably not going to last very long. But this is the first time I've had a crack at using an electronic paint sprayer with the dual purpose of it basically pushing air. So that's how it works. Basically it's a little air compressor, I guess, and that charges air through the nozzle, and then that It has a pickup tube, just like a normal regular spray gun, and you've got 3 different nozzle types. But I painted the bumper and the front bumper and the rear bumper so far, and it comes out nice, does a really good job. Doesn't atomize very much, so there's not really any overspray that I can tell. That could also be just the paint that I'm using. And then dual purpose, it blows air, so I just removed all the dust because I don't really have access to an air compressor out here. So blew all the dust off. Now we need to wipe down the entire truck, mask the rest of the stuff off, like the grill, put the 2 front doors on, and I am pretty much ready to paint this bad boy. But the sky
yeah, it doesn't look great, but
looks a little bit like it could spit, and I cannot have any spitting, so we're going to wait a second. That looks like rain over that way, the wispy clouds, so hopefully the weather is on our side. Worst case, I can do it in the workshop, but it's much dustier in the workshop than out here, so I'll put water all around on the ground to keep the dust down before I paint, and then we'll hope for the best.
excuse me, weather. What is going on? That is not spitting, that is proper rain.
I'm gonna have to MacGyver this.
That's your second name.
MacGyver? I wish.
Yeah, a bit like handyman MacGyver.
I don't make bombs though. She ain't going anywhere.
Hi! You being a good boy? You're trying to escape. Luckily, this motorhome has double lock. Alright, time to make coffee. One thing that I really struggle with this build is to juggle between obviously being a mom and looking after Oakley, helping Chris as much as I can with the actual job, and as well filming and editing and multitasking, and I have to find my priority. This week it's definitely been looking after Oakley. It's been ultra needy and I think it's not doing too good. Teething really needed me this week, so I didn't help Chris at all with any of the masking or anything like that. And last night I actually watched our Raptor video that we had done on the mug 3 years ago. Can't believe it's been 3 years. And
don't use the sheet. The green sheet.
alright.
We'll use that for the actual windscreen.
False alarm. Well, to give you a mid-work update, this is not a fun job actually. Yeah, it made me a bit nostalgic to see that, and that I haven't been involved. But Chris done such a good job, he's such a perfectionist. So now we need coffee to start the painting. Good job, Ox. You're doing some basketball. Go for it. Yay! Oh my gosh, trying to climb up. Are you ready to fly? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Alright, we're escaping the playpen. masking is finished. Got beautiful sunshine, no more rain, a little bit of wind, hopefully it doesn't pick up too much. Oakley is asleep. We're getting ready to paint. So this time we're not using Raptor. What are we using?
I'm so stressed this morning. I hate it. I just can't wait.
You've done that before. You'll be fine.
I know that. So this is, we've spoken about it a bit before, Brantho Corux 3-in-1. So this is a German paint and it's often used for industrial applications. So things like oil rigs, tractors, you know, machinery, road working equipment, stuff like that. So I think it's going to be a really good product for us. Now it's 3-in-1 because it's a primer, it's an anti-rust, and it's a top coat as well. And then this is the thinner. So, I mean, it's probably just normal thinner, but I thought just to be safe, I'll buy their thinner, just in case, because it is called Special Verdunning.
You know it's good.
So you know it's good. And then we've also bought this, which is makes it slightly more gloss. The way they describe the finish of this is like eggshell. And I wanted a little bit more glossy. I may regret that because the glossier we go, the more imperfections it's going to show on this old truck. But this you can add up to 20% to make it more glossy. So that's called the Glands additive or something like that. Now from memory, this was, I think you'll be able to correct me Ange if I'm wrong, this is a 5-litre tin and it was €135 delivered here, I believe, from Germany. That was the cheapest we could find it. Can you remember that?
I'll check.
I think Ange can put it on the screen if I got that wrong. And that's for the 5-litre tin. We will be doing a different color on the roof and that paint hasn't arrived yet, which is okay because this actually can take up to like 5 days to properly dry. They say 3 days, but I've noticed it can still be a tiny bit sticky if you lay things on top. So I wouldn't want to do the roof anyway because of the masking, right? So it's not the end of the world that that paint hasn't arrived. So the truck won't be finished today, but I should hopefully be able to do 2 coats. And I'm using a very cheap gun, so let's just have fingers crossed that I can make something work. Ange bought a bunch of measuring cups from IKEA because we can't seem to find any paint measuring cups anywhere nearby that's not online. So that's how I'm going to work out my ratios for the thinner, and then lastly I'll put maybe 10% gloss in. Done.
And in terms of the color choice, a lot of you were mentioning, oh, like, are you going to do it sandy taupe like you did Bowser? Was definitely an option because we love sandy taupe, but we just wanted something different for this another vehicle. And as well, we had to work with the paint that Brantho corrects the colors that they were offering. I can't even remember actually how did you come up with this one. I think you were just like Googling and there was no many vehicles with that RAL.
Yeah, I decided well before we were in Australia.
Yeah, we bought it like in January.
I don't know how I came up with the colour. Land Rover Defender's really nice ones are kind of a bit of inspiration, but it is not a Land Rover colour,
no.
Especially because it's a RAL colour. But this isn't the main colour palette option. This was kind of like a special order, but luckily they had it in stock.
Yeah, so, and we'll have a more accent. We're gonna have as well the wooden strip at the rear. So yeah, it's gonna look a lot different when it's all finished, but today we'll have a good idea of
what it's gonna kind of look
the
like.
Bigger transformation that it's gonna be. So, you ready?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be, I think.
Let's do it.
Mission Impossible. Oh, hip flexor cramp. Oh. Oh goodness me.
So what are you up to?
I am putting this truck inside before we get rained on. What do you think?
There she is, the first time outside.
First time outside.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
The transformation.
How's that, eh? Now that is the reward for a lot of hard work. What do you think, Oakley? Gosh, where do I begin? Yeah, wow, let us know what you think about the color and stuff. Man, I'm stoked.
It looks even better outside than in the shade. The shade is quite hard because it's quite dark. So yeah, here today with a nice blue sky, it really pops up.
Yeah.
And it was really tricky. We had to wait to do this reveal video. We couldn't release it last week because when we had to do the white roof, we had to wait for it to dry. We had to do the masking and then it was raining. So here we are today. We can finally reveal it. Chris will show you a little bit some details and things that he's done. And then we've got a question for you.
Oakley loves it. What's the question?
The rims.
Oh, the rims. Yes, of course. Different tires, different rims. Well, similar rims, but modified. What color? We were thinking maybe white. But for an off-road vehicle, will that be, dunno. Black obviously is the other choice. We wouldn't do what we did with Bowser and have them the same color as the body, so we wouldn't do them this color. But yeah, maybe black. What do you think, Ange? Hard to say.
At first I was thinking white, a little bit like an old school vintage Land Rover style.
Yeah.
But now that I've seen outside, I think black. But you know, we've got a bit of time to order the paint. We don't have the rims yet ready. So let us know in the comments what you think, white or black, because yeah, it's a tricky decision. It's a hard one, and that's really going to change the look of the vehicle. Bear in mind that there's gonna be as well some more black accents on top of the white roof, some accessories like roof rack, awning, shower tent, things like that, and as well with the pop top there will be some black. So yeah, just something to bear in mind. The white is not gonna be as obvious.
All right, maybe I'll give you a little bit of a tour, just a mini walk around as to some of the work that went into this. So some of the inspiration was definitely Defenders. Yes, so the color is not a Land Rover color at all. It's similar in a few different ways in terms of the shading, but it's not a Land Rover color. So we're gonna keep this tight-lipped, the actual color, because we would be really stoked if we were the only vehicle on the road in the world with this particular RAL coat. We might be, which would be pretty cool. White roof, that is a Land Rover colour, or as matched as we could to a white Land Rover roof colour. And yeah, we like it. We like the accent. We like that it breaks it up a bit, makes the vehicle look a little bit slightly less menacing, and it adds some class, I think. So that's where I'm wondering with the white wheels, add a bit of class as well. I'm not too sure. So all wheel wells have been done with the Brantho Black. A few things that are new. So we've got new mirrors. So those mirrors are so much better than what I was dealing with before. So every little bit has been painted by yours truly. We've even got the original stickers for the blinker fluid and the coolant. New lights, which we're very, very happy with the lights. New plugs, yeah, new window seals. So our current window is shattered, so waiting to hopefully get one tomorrow, a new windscreen. And we already had bought the new seal for that, so that will make it look much better in the front. But yeah, I changed the seal on this, so that makes it much more watertight. So around the sides, what else? So the only thing I basically couldn't pull off the truck that I wanted to for painting was these two windows here. They were just impossible to remove, but I'm happy with how I managed to mask and sand around them, so those look good. All the door handles, of course, been removed. All the hinges had been removed and sanded underneath. You'll notice scars through here. That is where the wood strips would go, so cannot wait to buy those. We'll probably get those from Tatanka. I will show you, but was really hoping for this little reveal for you guys that the windows would be done. We have them, they're glass, and I have tinted them, but they're proving really difficult to glue in right now with the doors on, not on a horizontal surface. So painted the step, resealed everything, so everything has been resealed with Sika. And then on the back, obviously all the little bits and pieces all painted black. Not a big fan, or especially Ange, of the green jerry can, but it is what it is right now. I pulled the mud guards off, repainted those and cleaned those up as well. We've got the shiny black fuel tank. Yeah, very, 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 very happy with how it's coming along. Yeah, the new, oh yes, and the rear glass looks good, eh? I did that tint yesterday. Yeah, that looks great. So same style tint, same glass. So it's 6mm thick tempered glass. So it's safety glass now for the sides, and that'll stop some heat getting in and give a bit of security. Yeah, but like it's just so much work. It was so much work that I almost feel like it was a bit of an anticlimax now that I'm finished. I'm just like, oh man, I'm just drained from it. But yeah, I'm very happy with how it turned out. Very happy with how it turned out. Looks like a new vehicle. Oh, so stoked. Looks really good outside. Hope you like the transformation, guys. We are so stoked with it. It's nice now that it feels like for us the build is properly commenced. Like we now have ownership over this vehicle. Before, when it was like still military colors, it was like just still working with an old barnyard like find. So now at least it feels more ours, doesn't it? And
yeah,
like we're actually progressing and getting somewhere.
That reminds me with Bowser when we had it still military, and the day we painted the cab, that sparked our enthusiasm for the build again, and we were so stoked to continue. And I think that's going to be the same. And as soon as we've got those new tires on, that's going to transform the look even further. And now we've actually started to look into the interior layout and build, so stay tuned for the coming weeks, because yeah, it's gonna happen quite fast. Lots to come, guys, so thank you so much for sticking around, and hopefully we won't have any more 2-week hiatuses anytime soon, hopefully. We'll see. See you next week. Cheers, bye. Bye.